I try to not explain it to them because it takes away their right to understand themselves, their right to that divine assistance in helping them find balance if I try to put my words to it.
You run an emotion scan on a client. Some things are hitting it on the head. It's really easy to connect the dots. You say something else that comes up in the whole tank, and they're like, that doesn't make any sense. And they want you to tell them what it means.
Yeah.
What do you do?
So the first thing I do before I even run any emotion scan on the first visit, when I'm helping them understand what to expect, I talk about the emotional aspect of things and how what shows up on the test, it could be what they are dealing with right now. And they'll recognize it and say, yeah, that is how I feel, or that is what I'm experiencing, and how there will be other things that they don't recognize. And it could be, going back to emotions, it could be generational thing. So it's not something that's resonating right now, but it's something that that runs in their family. It could be something they experienced as a child. It could be something they experienced, they're experiencing with a coworker. So kind of, something that maybe would better describe their coworker, but they are being affected by it. And so that's the first thing that I do, is explain all of these ways that we're swimming in each other's energy. And so when other people's energy is affecting us, then it can show up on a test, even though that may not feel like it's actually us. And so that's the first thing I tell them, so that when things show up and they don't understand it, or they feel like it's not relevant, then they already know that's a possibility. The other thing that I say to them is that they can just think about it, just let it sit with them for a bit, that they don't have to know right now how it applies. I try to not explain it to them because it takes away what I feel like is their right to understand themselves, their right to that divine assistance in helping them find balance if I try to put my words to it. I can give an example. When I did that with someone, it was in training, and I had her come up, and I was testing her in front of everyone. And one of the things that showed up was on, I'm going to forget some of the details, but it was on socializing. It's something about social interaction. And I was assuming that she was getting too much, because in training it's like this it feels like a 24/7 type of social interaction where I was assuming that she probably needed a break from what was going on. And so I started talking like that, making that assumption. And she said, well, actually, this is kind of nice to be, in this environment where I'm interacting with all these people, because normally at home, I've got the same routine that I'm doing every single day. And so it was a good reminder for me to not try to interpret for them, even if, in her situation, she did know exactly, immediately she understood it. But even if they don't immediately understand, I try to not fill in the blank for them.